Do you believe a baby could truly grow wings? If your child were different, would you fight to protect them or choose to hide them away? I'm Katie, just an ordinary mother, with an extraordinary story. A few months ago, I was still a worker at a cosmetics factory in eastern Paris. That morning, before dawn, Lisa woke me up. She was so young, yet she'd already learned to rouse me gently. But the moment I opened my eyes, I knew I didn't want to go to work. I stared blankly for a few seconds before telling her, "Mommy doesn't feel like going today." She didn't ask why, just nodded and quietly tried to make breakfast by herself in the kitchen. My little girl was far more understanding than I'd ever imagined. We washed up quickly and sat down to eat that makeshift meal. Then I pulled out the motorcycle and Lisa climbed on as usual. This time she held on to me tighter than ever, as if she knew we were escaping something together. With the wind against my face, it suddenly struck me that only during these rides did we truly feel like mother and daughter. No pressure, no rushing, no lingering sense of failure. That day my task was the same as always, capping bottles one after another like a soulless robotic arm on the assembly line. Then he appeared, Paco Sanchez. He walked into the workshop with a few other workers, and our eyes met. For a moment, my heart raced. During lunch, I couldn't help but steal glances at him, like some clumsy schoolgirl. Fate has a way of playing jokes when life is already a mess. I was zoning out outside the factory when he happened to step out too. He sat beside me and we talked for a while. Then we slipped into the restroom. The sudden rush of desire felt reckless yet undeniably real. He left first. I followed minutes later, only to find the boss waiting for me. He yelled, his words sharp, and I kept my head down because I knew I'd messed up. But that wasn't the worst of it. In my haste, I'd forgotten to wear my mask. My body gave out like a hollow shell, and I collapsed right there on the floor, as if someone had flipped a switch and shut me off. After dinner, we walked home together. He followed me up the stairs, my mind a tangled mess, but my feet kept moving. When Lisa walked into the kitchen and saw us, I panicked, quickly introducing them. Paco was gentle with her, trying to make conversation, but Lisa just stared blankly, then turned and ran. I laughed it off as shyness, but deep down, I knew it wasn't shyness, it was wariness. Followed her to her room, whispering that Paco might stay with us. I painted a picture of a new family, willing her to accept it. She nodded, but I missed the doubt flickering in her eyes. I was wrong. Months passed. I was pregnant. I didn't tell Paco, not out of distrust, but I didn't know how. It felt like carrying the weight of the universe alone. I kept working until the day the baby came, sudden and insistent. Gave birth to Ricky alone in the hospital. Paco was at the factory. I didn't know what he'd think. But in that moment I knew, with or without him, I had to keep being a mother, the kind who doesn't collapse. The day we left the hospital, I felt strangely hopeful. I thought it was a fresh start. We walked home as a family, Lisa silent until she froze at her bedroom door. That's when I saw it. Paco had turned her room into a nursery. No discussion, no word to Lisa. For a split second her eyes dimmed. I caught it, but she said nothing. Just exhaled softly and murmured, "At least I named Ricky." We ate fried chicken and drank champagne. Paco raised his glass high, toasting his handsome son, while Lisa sat silently watching us clink our glasses. When Ricky suddenly started crying, Paco laughed and dipped his finger in champagne, pretending to feed it to him. I didn't laugh. In that moment, I just felt irritated. Took Ricky into my arms, holding him securely until he quieted down. That night, we curled up together, his tiny body sleeping on my chest as I wrapped myself around this new life. The next day, Paco came home late, claiming he'd just been out with friends. But Lisa had seen him with another woman. The fight was inevitable. And Lisa... She sat in the corner, silent, clumsily trying to feed Ricky his bottle. How old is she? She shouldn't have to shoulder this. After the fight, we carried on as if nothing had happened. I told Paco I was going back to work the next day. He nodded, saying he'd watch Ricky during the day while working nights. But when I came home, I found him sprawled on the sofa with a beer bottle beside him and Ricky screaming. As I lifted Ricky to bathe him, he quieted instantly, like a little angel. But when the warm water ran over his back, I saw it, an odd bruise. Called Paco in. Staring straight into his eyes, I demanded, "Did you drop him?" He looked wounded, insisting he'd been careful, even turning it around, accusing me of being suspicious. But that bruise said otherwise. It didn't speak, yet it froze something inside me. Don't know how much longer I can trust him. But I do know this. I have to protect Ricky. And Lisa too. Even if I have to do it alone. They won't be hurt again.